What's up everyone, this is Jackhammer2711 coming at you with yet another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars Black Series Clone Trooper. This of course is part of the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch line of action figures, and it is produced by Hasbro. I got this figure online at Big Bad Toy Store. I will put a link in the description to Big Bad Toy Store. If you're not familiar with it, check it out. They're a really good online retailer of toys and action figures. And I highly recommend you check out their website. Taking a look at the figure in packaging here. He does come in that standard Star Wars Black Series 6-inch packaging with this nice big window box here that comes, you know, kind of the length of the figure here from the top down to the bottom, and it kind of wraps around to this side of the figure so you can see through the window on this side of the figure as well. Top of the packaging has that Star Wars the Black Series logo right there, and then that nice kind of stylized picture of the character it represents right there in that top corner. Of course, that nice orange ribbon running down the back there. That's just familiar to all Star Wars fans. And then again, you've got the number 14 Clone Trooper right there, lets you know what number in the series it is and that it is the Clone Trooper. And your Hasbro logo right there. Of course, at the top again here you have Star Wars the Black Series logo and another picture of that image right there that is on the front right here. Just really nice. Just plain blank black cardboard on that side. Bottom of the packaging has some legal information right there and another Hasbro logo. Back of the packaging is really cool. It has that orange ribbon down the back again and that Hasbro logo down here at the bottom. Some poses may require additional support, more legal stuff right here. And then at the top, of course, you have your Star Wars logo here, and you have your Clone Trooper blurb. Clone Troopers are genetically engineered super soldiers who are deployed into combat for the first time on Geonosis, where they battle the Separatist droid army. And then, of course, their quote is, "The droid army is in full retreat." And then on the back, you've got that, again, that kind of stylized image of the character that you have in the packaging right there, which, of course, these are the Clone Troopers. But there you have the Clone Trooper there in the packaging. Let's go ahead and bust him out of his plastic prison and see just exactly what the Clone Trooper is working with. Alright everybody, we're back and we have the Clone Trooper out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, who's really nice, I'll have to say, let's take a look at the figure's accessories. He comes packaged with two accessories. He's got two guns packaged with him. First, he's got this longer blaster rifle that is just really nice. As you would expect, really nice sculpting detail on here. As you can see across the back of the gun here, and then especially here on the front of the gun, some really nice sculpting detail. Especially there on the bottom, as you can see here, there's some line work in there. But it's just a really nice weapon, really long in comparison to the other blaster that you get, which is just that standard Star Wars Clone Trooper / Stormtrooper blaster. You can see how much longer this blaster rifle is than this. But taking a look at it, taking a look at the sculpting detail, it's really nice. Got some nice sculpting detail in there. These are just cast in black plastic. Unlike a lot of the other figures in the line, particularly the Stormtrooper, the blaster rifle and the blaster that the Stormtrooper came packaged with had a really nice kind of silverish gunmetal dry brushing over the top. But even though these are just cast in black, they're still really nice, really nice accessories. And of course, if you're a Star Wars fan, they're familiar to you. But those are the accessories he comes packaged with. Now let's take a look at the figure. This is just a great... you know what? It's a shame that Hasbro didn't decide to do Star Wars Black until now, because we should have had these figures a long time ago. 6-inch scale renditions of our favorite Star Wars characters. Whenever they announced the line, I was like, pinch me, I'm dreaming. And now that they're here, I absolutely love what Hasbro is doing with these figures. As you can see here, taking a look at the head sculpt of the Clone Trooper, really, really nice. There's not a particularly large amount of sculpting detail on here, just because it's a really simple concept. It's just the helmet, but the nice visor sculpted into the front. You can see there is some sculpted and painted detail in there underneath the, you know, where kind of, I guess, where the nose or the mouth would be meeting up. Really, really nice right there. Some more painted detail and sculpted detail here in the bottom of the helmet. Nice line work across here, and then of course up the sides there, and then across the top there where that paint detail is at. And then of course, you know, the Clone Trooper helmet, it does kind of go to the back where it makes this little point here. And then there is some sculpting detail on the side there, as you can see, kind of along right here, the line work there, the little bit of sculpting detail there. And then along the back where there's more sculpting detail, particularly right here in the middle of this knob looking thing. Some more painted detail there and across the back of the helmet. Really nice right there. You see that red paint detail there? That's really, really cool to have that right there on that helmet. Really, really nice. And then taking a look again at the other side of the helmet, which is similar or identical to the other side. But just a really, really nice head sculpt. It captures the figure very, very well. Whenever you see this, you know immediately what it is and who it is. Just taking a look at the torso here. Up underneath the neck, you can see there's some sculpting detail, kind of where the kind of like the neck piece or the turtleneck of the undersuit in there. You see that nice line work in there. Some sculpting detail here now on the chest armor. You can see there's two little lines sculpted in it right there that are really, really, really nice. Just attention to detail. And then of course the breast piece right there. He's got some sculpting detail across the shoulders there on either side of the helmet. And it just kind of comes down into more sculpting detail here across the abdomen, as you can see right there. The belt is nicely sculpted as well with a lot of pouches. It's a separate piece, as you can see. It does move independently from the rest of the figure, but just really, really nice. It's not removable. It is not a removable piece, but just coming around to the back, you see again more sculpting detail on this belt piece. That's really, 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 really great. Back of the figure there with some sculpting detail on the back of the armor there. It's just really nice. A great representation of the character from the films. You know, you've got the armor here, the white armor on top of the black undersuit. Everywhere you can see the black undersuit. I can't tell how well it's coming across on camera, but there's sculpted detail to the black undersuit just about everywhere that you can see it, particularly there, here at the arms, on the back here, above the leg armor. Just really, really nice attention to detail there from Hasbro. It's really nice. And of course the armor there, you know, you have your piece here at the top covering the shoulder, then your bicep, your elbow pad there, then your two separate pieces covering the forearm and the top of the hand. And then of course you've got the cod piece here. It does have some sculpting detail there across the crotch piece right there with that line work. And then moving down to the legs, you've got your quad armor right here that goes over your upper leg, then your knee armor there, calf armor, and then your boot there. Some sculpting detail down there as well on that boot piece. And then some more sculpting detail here along the back. That is painted, but it is also part of the sculpt right there, that little gray line going across the back. And then you can see more sculpted detail on the back of the boot here, right there, and on the sides. No sculpting detail on the bottom of the foot. But just really, a really nice figure. And I've got to say, whenever I first saw the Clone Troopers in the prequel trilogy, it was obvious. This is the future Stormtroopers. The Stormtroopers are absolutely, from the first trilogy, what these became. And you can see there's a lot of similarity in the armor, but whenever you compare this to the Stormtrooper action figure, you really see the differences. I expected there to be a lot of reuse of parts on here. There is not one piece on this action figure that is used on the Stormtrooper or Sandtrooper action figure. They're both completely separate sculpts, and that just flies directly in the face of what Hasbro does with their action figures. Hasbro is a big proponent of reusing parts and reusing bucks, and I would have totally expected that, but they stay true to the character and sculpted all new armor for this entire action figure and didn't reuse one piece of the Stormtrooper armor. And that's fantastic because, like I said, I never really noticed how much of a difference there was until I compared the two action figures, but they could have gotten away with it. They likely could have reused some of the Stormtrooper armor, particularly maybe across the chest, possibly, maybe the shoulder armor, and maybe parts of the upper arm. But I mean, they didn't skimp on the detail, and I love that about this line. This line is so incredibly detailed and so incredibly cool. I can't get enough of it. Now, excuse me, this action figure and the other one I got off a Big Bad Toy Store along with it, I've never seen them at retail. Not in my area, at least. The only place I've ever seen them available on was at Big Bad Toy Store, and so I ordered them and did get them off of Big Bad Toy. I can't say that. Big Bad Toy Store. But anyway, I was really excited whenever I got it and you know, opened up that box and saw him. The packaging, as you maybe saw, was a little bit beat up, but I'm not a mint inbox collector anyway, so it doesn't matter. But this is just a really great figure. Just taking a look at the articulation really quickly. The head does go all the way around. It goes back about that far, not really too far back. It does go forward quite a bit, though, as you can see there. A nice bit of forward movement. The shoulders do go all the way around. As you can see, it's kind of one of those ratchety type joints. You can hear it clicking into place. But it does do that. Now, whenever you bring the shoulder armor, whenever you want to bring the arms up, this shoulder armor, if you're not careful, it appears to just hit right there at the shoulder, and you would think, oh, that's all the upper movement I'm going to get. But if you work with it, it actually goes under that armor, as you can see there. So you can get a much higher bit of articulation on both sides by slipping it under than if you just kind of don't play with it and just take for granted, oh, it just goes that high. But like I said, once you do fit it under there, the arms do go about that high, and then they go back down. There is rotation at the bicep that goes all the way around. He does have that nice double jointed elbow. So you can see some really good articulation there. Kind of hindered a little bit by the sculpt of this piece of armor from the forearm and the bicep there. But still a nice range of movement right there, more than you would get from a single point elbow. And it goes back down. The articulation at the wrist is pretty standard for Star Wars Black. It goes all the way around. And then the right hand, which you see is sculpted with a trigger finger, it has a hinge that goes like this. It moves down and up in this direction. Whereas the left hand, it still does go all the way around, but the hinge articulation is in this direction. This direction, and not up and down with the hand turned sideways like that. So really nice. And taking a look at that hand, you do see it is sculpted on the right hand in a trigger finger, and I'll show you how well that works here in just a second. He does have that diaphragm joint there, so he can go all the way around there, that diaphragm joint, as well as some nice side to side motion, as well as a little bit forward and back motion as well there. Now the legs are a bit hindered by the armor. Going forwards and backwards with the legs, this is about as far forward as you're going to get the leg, right there. And then going backward as well, about that far. It is kind of hindered by the articulation. But going out to the sides, you get about that far out to the side with both legs, as you can see there, and then they go back in. Same thing on this side, you know, about that far forward, about that far back. There is thigh rotation right there. And I like the design because you see it's designed where the rotation is at the armor point where it meets the bodysuit. So it's hidden very well. It's not just a cut in the articulation. But it does go by that. You probably can work this around to get it all the way around, but it's just the way the armor is designed with that point at the top right there, you're not really going to get it all the way around. But let's face it, unless you're trying to pose this figure as like a broken man or something like that with a lot of injuries, you're not going to need that anyway. It's got that double articulation on the knee, double hinge on the knee, so some really nice articulation there. And then back forward. And then he does have an ankle pivot. I'm sorry, an ankle hinge right here. It doesn't go that far back because of the sculpt. You can see where the armors meet right there, and so they hit. So it's not going to go that far back, but it does go far forward quite a bit. It does also have that crazy, ridiculous Hasbro ankle pivot, as you can see there. So a really, really nice figure. Really, really, really great execution. As I said, you know, that hand is sculpted with a trigger finger, so you can just take your standard blaster, squeeze it into his hand, and that trigger finger fits quite nicely in right there, and he wields his blaster with that hand. You can also get him into a, you know, that double-fisted blaster holding pose like so. Really, really cool. As you can see there, he's got it. He's holding it with both hands. Oh, look at that, looking at you into the camera. Oh, he's gonna blast you. Pew pew pew. Anyway, this is my review of the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Clone Trooper from Hasbro. A fantastic figure. A great addition to my collection for sure, and one that I hope you can get your hands on. Like I said, I've never seen him at retail, but he was available on Big Bad Toy Store. May still be available there as a set with the Obi-Wan Kenobi figure or in a case assortment. So go check out Big Bad Toy Store. As always, if you like this video, rate, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And this has been Jackhammer2711, and as always, I will catch you on the flip side.